King Midas and the golden touch. No one in the kingdom could say exactly how rich King Midas was. People whispered numbers so large they sounded like legends, yet no one had ever seen his treasure with their own eyes. Travelers passed through the land, speaking of distant kings and mighty empires. But none compared to Midas, the ruler whose wealth was said to outshine the sun itself. Still, the strangest thing of all was that the gold was never displayed. No golden statues stood in the squares. No rivers of coins flowed through the streets. The gold was hidden, locked away deep beneath the palace, and only one man visited it every single day. That man was King Midas himself. Long before the city awoke, before servants swept the marble floors or guards changed their watch, the king would descend the cold stone steps into the dungeon. There, by flickering torchlight, lay countless bricks and coins of pure gold. They were stacked neatly, polished until they reflected his face back at him. Midas would sit for hours, counting and recounting them, running his fingers lovingly over their smooth surfaces. Each coin brought him comfort. Each brick reassured him that he was powerful, secure, and above all, wealthy. The queen often watched him leave with a gentle shake of her head. "My dear," she once said with a smile, "why do you count your gold every day? Do you fear it might vanish overnight?" Midas stopped and looked at her sharply. "Do not joke about such things. Gold is priceless. It does not vanish." She touched the golden necklace around her neck, a gift from her husband. "It is beautiful. Yes," she admitted. "But beauty alone cannot buy happiness." Midas laughed softly. "It buys me all the happiness I could ever need. You simply do not understand." The queen did understand, but she also knew there was no point in arguing. The king's love for gold grew stronger with each passing day, until it filled every corner of his heart. Even the name he chose for his only daughter revealed his obsession. He named her Marigold, after a flower as golden as the treasure he adored. Marigold was everything her father was not. She was lively, curious, and endlessly fascinated by the world around her. She ran through the gardens barefoot, laughed at butterflies, and marveled at the morning dew clinging to the grass. "Father, come and see," she would call. "The flowers are shining like jewels today." Midas barely glanced up from his thoughts. "Not as shiny as gold, my child. You go and play." Marigold did not understand how cold metal could be more beautiful than living things. Like her mother, she learned to accept that her father's heart belonged elsewhere. As time passed, the king withdrew further into his dungeon. Meals grew lonely. Conversations grew shorter. The gold never complained, never argued, never disappointed him. Or so he believed. One afternoon, the guards brought a stranger into the palace. The man wore simple clothes and no sandals, and his eyes wandered as though he were lost in thought. "Who is this?" Midas asked. "He was found wandering the streets, Your Majesty," the guard replied. "He claims to be lost and without a home." Midas studied the man for a moment. "See that he is given a place to stay. Until we find where he belongs, he is our guest." The stranger's name was Silenus, though the king did not know it then. He stayed in the palace for many days, treated with kindness and respect. Midas learned that Silenus loved stories, music, and laughter, things the king himself had long forgotten. Weeks later, when Silenus' home was finally discovered, it was time for him to leave. That very night, as Midas sat alone in his dungeon counting his gold, a strange presence filled the air. The torches flickered. A deep, calm voice echoed through the chamber. "King Midas." Midas leaped to his feet. "Who dares enter my dungeon? Are you here to steal my gold?" A figure emerged from the shadows, radiant and powerful. "What use would gold be to me?" the figure said with a smile. "I am the god of the forests." The king trembled. "Why are you here?" "To thank you," the god replied. "Silenus is a dear friend of mine. Your hospitality pleased me greatly. I have come to grant you a wish. Anything you desire." Midas' heart raced. His mind overflowed with visions of endless wealth. "A ship full of gold," he said, then shook his head. "No, a house full of gold. No, something more. Grant me this. Let whatever I touch turn to pure gold." The god studied him carefully. "Your wish shall be granted. But remember, gold cannot buy all happiness." Midas barely heard the warning. He was already imagining the future. When dawn arrived, he tested his gift. The bedpost shimmered beneath his fingers, transforming into solid gold. He laughed with delight, touching furniture, doors, and walls. Everything gleamed. He ran through the palace, through the gardens, turning trees and flowers into lifeless statues of gold. "I will show the world," he declared. "Everyone will know my power." But hunger soon slowed his steps. He sat at the table, reaching for fruit, only to feel cold metal beneath his hand. Bread, water, meat, everything turned to gold before he could eat or drink. Fear crept into his joy. As he stared at the golden feast, Marigold ran in from the garden. "Father!" Before he could stop her, she threw her arms around him. In an instant, her warmth vanished. She became a shining statue, beautiful and still. "No!" Midas cried, falling to his knees. "What have I done?" Tears streamed down his face as he held the lifeless gold. The treasure he had loved so dearly now mocked him. He ran to the dungeon and called out in despair, "Take it all back! My gold, my power, take everything! Just give me my daughter!" The god appeared once more, his eyes filled with understanding. "You have learned the truth," he said. "Love is the only treasure that never fades." Handed Midas a vessel of magical water. "Sprinkle this upon what you have turned to gold." Midas rushed to Marigold and poured the water over her. Color returned to her cheeks. She breathed again. From that day on, King Midas never counted his gold again. He shared meals with his family, walked through gardens alive with color, and learned that true riches were not locked in a dungeon, but living all around him.